Hello. Welcome to my bedroom. I think I'm getting a little bit ill. My throat hurts, but we're just gonna push forward.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
All right. So I'm looking on Goodreads to see what I read in November and December, because I think my last video was in October. I don't think I read much in those last 2 months because of moving. So we did move north and we sold our house, and then it was 6 weeks before we could get into our new house. It was a struggle, but the Lord got us through it. It was freezing. We had to go to Goodwill and get like boots and coats, and I thought we would be fine for 2 weeks, but it just snowed every day, and a lot. We were not prepared for the amount of snow at all. So we had to get emergency snow clothes. It's been a wild how many ever weeks. We've been in our house since January 7th. So we're slowly getting everything back to how we had it. We did downsize a little bit, definitely in land too. So there's that. We do have a better view, so that's cool. I don't know about anyone else, but I can't read when I'm displaced out of my house at an Airbnb unless I'm there for, vacation, something like that. I just cannot get my brain to concentrate on reading. So I doubt there's going to be much that I read here, but let's just see. Okay, I just checked Goodreads. It's as bad as I thought for me. In October, I read 2 books. Mind you, one is gigantic and took forever. November, I read 1 book. In December, I read 3. Now, October and November were big packing months. So our house had sold. We were pretty sure of the house that we were trying to buy, but we were in negotiations still. So there was just a lot going on. In October and November, I was finishing up work, knowing that I was going to be leaving soon, wrapping up all of my caseload, that sort of thing. So it is what it is, but let's just start with Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. That was the first book I read in October. So this book is about a little 10-year-old boy named Ethan Marsh, and we follow him from whatever year, 1996, something like that, to 30 years later, where he's an adult. But we start when he's 10. He is camping in a tent in the backyard with his best friend Billy, and Billy is kidnapped in the middle of the night. Ethan had no idea. He didn't hear anything, he didn't see anything. So imagine that. Someone takes a knife, rips the tent open, grabs your friend. You have no idea what's going on. Imagine the feelings you would have, the suspicion of the neighbors. Of course, they would think, you didn't see anything? Are you serious? Did something happen between you guys? What happened? So there are a lot of neighbors, there are a lot of other characters that have a stake in this story, family members as well. I'm trying to remember when I guessed who did it. I feel like it was at the very end. In other words, I feel like I didn't guess it, until he or she was actually confessing. It's a creepy book. I love the 80s, 90s themes going on. So I gave that one 4 or 5 stars. I don't remember. Probably 4 stars. The next book I read was The Body Keeps the Score, Brain, Mind, and Body in the Healing of Trauma. So this is by Bessel van der Kolk, and this is a huge book. It was okay. He's delving into what happens to us in our bodies. Obviously, that's what it's called. The body keeps the score. All the things that happen in your brain, they will come out in some form or fashion. And he talks about the various different therapies he's tried with success. So if you are a clinician, a therapist, or someone who's just had some trauma that you're working through, or you're with someone who's had some trauma, really anyone could benefit from this book. You hear a lot of really interesting stories of people, what they went through, how their symptoms were expressed in their body and in the trajectory of their lives, and then what
therapies were used to help. I gave it 3 stars. I don't recommend it. I don't not recommend it. It's a big book. It's down it's in a box somewhere. I do own it. I listened to this one on audiobook. I would never have gotten through this otherwise. It's somewhat technical. It's just easier to listen to. I don't know. It's nonfiction. You know what I'm saying? Some parts were really, really interesting and other parts were like, okay, come on. Talked about this next book, which was the first and only book I read in November, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, which is book number 5, so year 5 at Hogwarts. Stuff and things happen here that are not fun, cute, and innocent. And I've been struggling to reread that one. I really like the beginning years when people were alive and you don't really quite know just how evil and interconnected this evil is. You know, and I cannot get into what happens in the Order of the Phoenix, but I will say that there's an order of heroes that come together and they have a very important mission in this world where Voldemort is a character. There's evil, there's good, and obviously Harry Potter and all his cronies are on the side of good. The next book I read was Broken Bayou by Jennifer Moorhead. This could have been some prime first reads sort of thing. I don't even know how I came to own this on Kindle. I do remember this, but I'm just gonna read it to you. It says, Dr. Willow Waters is a prominent child psychologist at the height of her career. So she goes into this interview with someone on, like, I don't know, live television. I don't know what it was, but it went viral. She embarrassed the heck out of herself, and we have no idea what triggered her to do what she did. It was bad. It was uncomfortable to read. So everybody saw that. No one understood why. You have a child psychologist here. Word of mouth is a big deal. And now you've gone on this, not press tour. I think she has a podcast that she does with someone. And it was being videotaped, as a lot of podcasts are. And she did something and it just caught fire. Everyone saw it. Now who's going to be your client? Who's going to continue with your services if they think you, as a mental health professional, are having mental health issues of your own? And like a lot of clinicians, she comes from a really crazy background. A lot of people are drawn to mental health because they've had mental health issues of some sort, or they've been on the periphery. We go back in time and we learn all about Willa's life, where she comes from in this place called Broken Bayou, Louisiana. It is hot. It is scorching, it is humid, it is hometown America in the South. There are a lot of key players that we learn about, but not so much that it's boring. I mean, it's a thriller, so it really did keep my attention. I did not suspect, till the moment it was revealed, I did not suspect who the bad guy or guys were. You don't find out to the end why she has this epic breakdown, you know, for everyone to see. It was a ride. You've got a serial killer going around putting women in barrels, and you got a drought. The barrels are being found. You're thinking, what in the world? Why are these two connected? What's going on? Yeah, I highly recommend this one. I gave it 4 stars. All right, so next I read Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. So this is year 6. I absolutely devoured this one. More people are dying. You know, the evil, it feels like, is just taking over everything. Hogwarts is not the place that it used to be. I mean, I'm in my 40s now. These are supposed to be children's books, but you eat them up, and there's so much substance. And when I'm reading them, I'm thinking, how do these keep adults' attention so thoroughly? The themes in here are so adult. The life lessons that J.K. Rowling presents to you in these characters' mistakes and arcs. That was the second book I read in December. The third book, out of just sheer desperation of just trying to get one more book in, I read A Christmas Carol. It's my favorite book. It's also one of my favorite movies, the 2009 Jim Carrey version. It is such a magical story with such a wonderful lesson, and there are sometimes I will meet like sort of miserly people in life that are just scrounging for a dime, or people who just aren't just aware of other people's issues or needs and just trying to get more and more for themselves. And I met a few characters like that here recently, and you're thinking, read the Bible, please. If you haven't, just read it. I'm gonna start with the Gospels, okay? Just here. here. But also read A Christmas Carol. Watch the movie. That message is for you, right? It's for all of us, but it is for you if you have lost touch with your fellow man, if you do not care what other people are going through, and you see yourself as completely different. Anyway, just magical. I love it. 5 stars. Battery's flashing as usual. This is an outro. I was sick. I got through the last clip you saw and just fell out. So I'm better now. My throat is better, but I wanted to thank you for watching and listening to some of my stories about moving. I hope you are well and that you are having a great reading year, this 2025. God bless.